Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a quick update regarding the possibility of some snow that I mentioned in the previous video. So let's just go on and take a look. So on the previous video, I mentioned this jet stream that's going to be strengthening. And I said, if it's able to buckle far enough north that maybe some areas across southeastern parts of Minnesota would get hit with some snow. But the way it's looking right now is it looks like most of the energy remains south of our region, probably just kind of clipping off to the south and east as we get into Sunday. So the storm system that caused some severe weather down in the south is going to pull off to the northeast for your day on Friday. But as I said before, for the most part, really going to be missing us. It's going to be sliding off to the south and east. Mostly rain with a little bit of snow on the north side, but you could see that snow, at least as we get into Friday, barely misses us. Now again, that's not the main one we were looking at, but that's one of them. And then as we get a little bit later into the weekend, we get another little system that kind of pulls through again. Probably more than likely misses Minnesota off to the south and east. Saturday, a little more of the same. Now I think as we get into Sunday, a little bit as we get into early Sunday morning, we still might have just a slight possibility of some snow across the southeastern portions of Minnesota. We also have this low pressure system here. Now, while it doesn't have a lot of moisture with it, I think there's a possibility as it kind of slides eastward that some areas across southern Minnesota and into South Dakota, and perhaps even into North Dakota, could occasionally see some light snow showers. Nothing that's going to accumulate, but just don't be surprised if on Sunday you see a few flakes throughout the day. Now, one thing we continue to watch just a little bit is this little system that comes out on Monday morning. We could see the possibility, at least by Monday morning, of maybe some light to even some moderate snows, perhaps across western parts of North Dakota. But even that moderate snow doesn't last long, and it looks like most of the models kind of agree on that, in that most of it should be light. Here we are around noontime Monday afternoon, and as we get into Monday evening, that snow really takes its time to kind of slide off to the southeast. We might have a little bit of rain showers on the south end of this system into South Dakota and into southern parts of Minnesota as well. But well, you can see that little light snow kind of pushes to the southeast through the day, and as we get into Tuesday morning, that system will have moved on off. Now, once we rotate this little disturbance through on Monday, look what happens on the backside of this as we get into Tuesday and even into Wednesday and Thursday. We're more than likely going to have much above average temperatures throughout most of the week next week. So here's the areas that possibly could pick up a little of accumulation of snow from these systems. And you can see some of this down in the southeast might be from maybe a little bit of that snow that falls on Sunday. And then on Monday, we've got that system that tracks to the southeast. Here's kind of where it lays it out right now. Generally, again, under an inch. You might have a little bit more in western parts of North Dakota where we could see 2 to perhaps an isolated 3-inch. Right now, I don't think that's likely, given how warm the temperatures are going to be. But nevertheless, that's kind of where we're looking at right now for this storm track to be. Storm track, I mean, it's barely dumping an inch of snow for most places, but it is what it is this year. And just to get an updated look at the high temperatures going into the weekend and into part of next week for Friday, here's our high temperatures. We're going to be kind of struggling a little bit to get above freezing for the northern half of Minnesota and actually across a good part of North Dakota as well. We get into the mid to upper 30s across southern parts of South Dakota. Saturday begins to warm up just a little bit again, kind of that northern half of Minnesota probably struggling to get near freezing. But otherwise, North Dakota warms up a little bit. We get into the 40s across South Dakota and southwestern parts of Minnesota. And then by Sunday, the Northeast looking a little better, where most areas are going to be getting above freezing. We might have some areas across far northern North Dakota that are kind of hover around that freezing mark for high temperatures. But otherwise, in the south, again, we're looking at the mid 40s for highs. Now, by Monday begins some of that warm up, and you kind of remember where that line is for that snow kind of in through here. So it's possible some of this might be a little bit cooler than what's currently forecasted. We'll see, just depending on how much snow or if snow actually falls out of this. But on the south side of this, I mean, we could be seeing highs in the southwestern parts of South Dakota in the mid 50s, and obviously a little cooler to the northeast. But look at this as we get into Tuesday, highs in the 60s to the southwest. We're seeing 40s all the way up into northern parts of North Dakota, getting up to that Hallock, Pembina area. And most of those areas going to be above freezing, with maybe the exception of the far northeastern parts of Minnesota. And then Wednesday, more of the same, with even warmer temperatures up in the northeast. Even they're going to be getting above freezing. But those high temperatures on Wednesday still could get above 60 across portions of South Dakota going into Wednesday. Now, if we take a look at one of the models, what's beyond that as we get into next Thursday? Again, more warm temperatures, 60s, 50s, and 60s across the south. Everybody above freezing for high temperatures on Thursday. And then by Friday, a little bit of a cool down, but still above average temperatures across the region as we get into next Friday. So wow, what a great run of weather we're on, and it's going to get even better next week. So enjoy it. If you haven't put those Christmas lights up already, next week's going to be a great time to do it. All right, everybody, that's all I got. So for Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner. Everybody have a good day.